Hi, I'm Nikki, the Obsessive Bookseller. Welcome to episode 4 of my A to Z challenge. If you haven't seen yet, this is a spin-off of my Read, Burn, Hoard challenge, and basically I'm focusing on a single shelf and seeing how far I can get throughout the year reading just one chapter at a time. Well, I guess all books are one chapter at a time. This is one chapter a day. A chapter per sitting, if you will. And this week's victim continues to be Half a King by Joe Abercrombie. I've got my little tracker here, and I was able to pick up the book every day but Saturday again. I'm having the most difficult time trying to find time to read on Saturdays, but it's understandable, like I'm outnumbered by children. But I made it to page 188, having read 99 pages this week at about 55% of the way through the book. Based on how accessible this is, I feel like I should be reading it a little more quickly than I am, but that's okay. Instead of a chapter a day, because these are so small, I've been doing like 15 to 20 minute increments, and usually that's about 2 or 3 chapters. This book is surprising me, and in a really weird way. So I'm so used to Abercrombie's really gritty, visceral writing, and so every time something happens in here where you think it's going to go there and it doesn't, I'm surprised. I'm like, oh, that was surprisingly vanilla. What that's doing is kind of whittling down my defenses, and so every time I brace for something and nothing bad happens, I'm like, oh, okay, this is not one of those stories. What's going to happen is he's going to lull me into a false sense of security and then really gut punch me. I feel like that's kind of what I'm expecting at this point, but I can totally see why people are calling it YA. Now, I've seen a lot of reviews for this lately where people have not been enjoying it quite so much, and I'm loving it. It's one of those like breath of fresh air things. Now, I do read a lot more middle grade and YA than a lot of my peers, and so compared to those, this is vastly superior. It feels like when you're hunting through those books trying to find one that really appeals to you as an adult, like this is that. It's quite good. But is it on par with some of the adult fantasy that I've been reading lately? Not really. It's too simplistic. It's very straightforward. But I am really liking the characters. I feel like they have a lot of depth and interest, and there's backstories there that we're just kind of scratching the surface on, and I love their personalities and the camaraderie between them. So that is solid, regardless of the genre. Based on the rate I'm going, another week of reading and I should be at about the 75% mark, but I don't know. There's a part of me that wants to just hurry up and finish it so I can move on to the next one, but that is not the nature of the project. Every time I reach the end of my allotted time for it and put the book down, I think, I really could have kept reading. And that's a good thing. I don't want to feel burnout. And so if I can put the book down feeling excited to pick it up the next day, then that's really good momentum to maintain. I have noticed that while I've been incorporating a chapter or two a day from this project, my other reading hasn't suffered at all. I was worried that this was going to kind of take the place of other reading and then I wouldn't really be getting any extra reading in. No, it hasn't. If anything, I've been reading more because it kind of gets it going for the day. Okay, so enough with that. Let's go take a look at the shelves. I have a project that I want to do this week, or at least start a project. Okay, coming in at the shelves, no changes this week. Everything looks pretty much the same. I have been kind of eyeballing the rest of the books on the shelves, kind of already making a decision on whether or not I want to read them or burn them, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Now, what I want to do, wide view, I've got this massive section here. Because I've been doing my Read, Burn, Hoard project, you can see all these stickies here indicating the shelves. I haven't been able to rearrange anything, and that has been driving me crazy. I'm someone who rearranges my shelves constantly, and I haven't been able to touch it for a year because I'll mess up the shelves. And I don't want to mess up the shelves because then I wouldn't have touched every single title by the time I get through everything for Read, Burn, Hoard. But I found a loophole. So I've got these high priority books pulled out at the top. A lot of new purchases in here. I really like the system of having everything pulled out, but I'm finding that I'm filling it up faster than I can read through it, and it's turning into a discouraging thing rather than a helpful thing. So what I want to do is remove all the books from those 2 shelves and redistribute them alphabetically by author's last name through the rest of the collection. And that'll enable me to move everything up exactly 2 shelves, and I can do a lot of fun shifting that way. And hopefully that'll give me more room to integrate all those books up at the top. So we're going to at least start on that today. I probably won't finish. Maybe I'll just focus on these shelves and then we'll pick up again next week. Let's get going. Okay, not bad. I am going to fill in those holes and work on that side next week. Shift everything down. When I started pulling things out, I didn't realize how many things I had that are at the end of the alphabet, but yeah, whole bunch of books. But I like it. I like having the start of my collection actually start at the start of my bookshelf. Now, I don't love this, but I guess that's motivation to unhaul things when I get to those shelves. There's a few of them. I didn't have room on the Erickson shelf, so I pulled out the one I was currently reading. I'm gonna have to figure out something to do with these. But yeah, not bad for 20 minutes of work. So that wraps it up for the week. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to catch you next time. Bye.